Well, I just wanted to start off with a question that is open to anybody to answer. So in the evaluation of the lottery, we often say that blind allegiance is a major theme and very prevalent in their society. But can I raise the question that is it really blind allegiance, or is it willingness to participate because of reward? And I ask that because it seems to me that they have the knowledge as to what they're doing, and they're doing it for a reason. So.
I feel like for the kids it's blind allegiance because they don't know what they're being born into. And like, but as they get older, then I feel like it turns into willingness to participate because this isn't nothing new. Like, I mean, even though again we were born into it, but when you get of a certain age, you start to realize like, wow, like this is more.
And for the adults in the village, I think that it's not blind allegiance. I think that it's because, well, first of all, you said they participate because of a prize. I don't think that they would want their life taken because of something that's going on in their village that has been going on for however many years that it was, that they would want to participate and get their life taken from them. So I think it is blind allegiance. I have messed that up.
I also want to bring up like what Old Man Warner said. I don't write it. It's the 4th page, and in the middle of the paragraph it says, I'm gonna just sum it up. So basically, Old Man Warner is talking about like how he's bashing like the people who are like getting rid of the lottery. And he even says, used to be saying about lottery in June, corn to be heavy summer. So I'm assuming that, you know, everybody knows that with the lottery, it's going to be this corn-heavy season. But in my mind, I feel like maybe it's just like a really good year for like actually crops. You know, maybe it's not really because of the killings, but maybe it's just like a good year for the crops. And I think that's how probably other villages kind of started to understand how it was like, oh, maybe we just stop the killing this year and we'll just see what happens. And kind of found out, you know, they had a really good corn season. They was like, oh, well, the lottery is just a hoax. Why are we doing it?
I feel like it's both, but for both blind allegiance and for reward. And my thing is, if you're, as far as kids, like if you're growing up believing in a certain thing, like you're gonna believe it as you get older. And even if you feel like it's wrong in your heart, like your brain tells you, well, this is the way things are, and this is the way it's gonna happen. And it's really hard to break from something that you knew all your life. So even if they realize, oh, we shouldn't be doing this, I feel like people will still go along with it because that's the only way of life that they knew. And the children, they grow up into it too, and they become those adults that realize it's bad, or if they don't realize it's bad, you still just grow up with that tradition, so you're okay with it, or you let it happen because that's the only way you like it.
Okay, well, with tying that, what they do, stuff that they have to do because they're on a normal life, the next question I would have is what are the relationships between sacrifice and cultural traditions as the themes for both stories?
That's kind of hard, but just to make it short and simple, I kind of feel like in order to have the society that they have to sacrifice in their minds. So they put it into their culture as to where that's the mainstream thing that you have to do so that we can exist the way that we do. Especially in those who walk away from home mealings, in order to have this utopian society, somebody has to be unhappy. But then is it really utopian? But they teach their kids that it is something that has to be prevalent in their way of life in order for the culture to stay the same.
I have a question. Since you grow up in like this certain mindset and area, if you were part of like, as far as the most popular meals and the lottery, if you were like in a villager's position, do you feel like you would be the same person? Like, because we can all say, oh, I would never do that. I wouldn't just let somebody suffer, blah blah blah, etc. But like in your heart of hearts, honestly, do you feel like you would be the person that stands out? You would just want to go along with it? Because a lot of people say that they won't, but in reality, if you're growing up during that time period, well,
I feel like
how would you?
really thinking about it and like really putting myself into the story, I think I'd probably like go along with it. Like I question it in like obedience. I'd probably be the person who walks away and just like never comes back. But I feel like with the lottery, I would, keep asking questions like, is this, like, why? Like, why don't we just stop this year? Like, they probably end up killing me off because I'm probably talking too much. But I do feel like I would probably raise questions in the lottery. But when it comes to Amelia's, I would just be like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Sorry about little homeboy. Really sorry about that, but I don't want to be a part of it and just walk away.
I feel like in the lottery, I would like go with it too, because if everybody in your utopian society is like going within this tradition, then it's like you just force of habit, you just go along with it too. But you will have some question in your mind like, why are we doing this? But you wouldn't like stand out and like try to stop the problem. You'll just question it.
Yeah, I was going to agree with talking with that, because for the lottery, like considering a number of people they have in there, like 300 villagers in there, I think that if you were like to stand out or go against the tradition of the lottery, then it's just one person you probably wouldn't make that much noise, especially in Amelia. It's like the people in Amelia, when they see the boy, they just walk away. Like if they try to stop it or something, then the people who are considered to be so happy and so for their utopian society will not agree with it. So you just gotta walk away. You cannot try to like, you can't try to change stuff and you're not changing it for real.
I agree with you. Like, I wouldn't, when I want to walk away from Amelia, I would just walk away. I probably wouldn't come back either, because I wouldn't know what to do or like what to say. But in the lottery, I would question it too, and I would be wondering like, why are we still doing this? Like, we're sacrificing other people's lives. Why?
Especially if you don't stay.
Well, if the people in Amelia's, I feel like I would do it, because being born into certain practices, I would think that that would be the norm. I wouldn't know what to do if I were to walk away. I wouldn't know if it would be like more complex or would it be the same. So I think I would stay.
I want to pose the question in both stories. Do you guys think that there's like a mastermind or like a person that's behind the scenes on both of these stories? Because I just find it a little odd that Old Man Warner is lived through all of these like lotteries and he hasn't been picked, and like nobody else from the past has been picked, or like it's still there.
I feel like for both stories, even if I don't feel like there's a mastermind behind it, or if it was, it's long forgotten. I just feel like that tradition still just holds up because it's the way it's been. And for like the lottery, they have said although the villagers is on the last page, although the villagers have forgotten the ritual and lost the original black box, they still remember the 2 stones. I'm like, even though they don't know the meaning behind what they're doing or where it originated, it's still going to happen. So I don't think it's a mastermind per se. I feel like it's just everybody giving it to like.
But even then, like I feel like in any tradition, you always kind of want to highlight the origin of like how it started. Like that, I feel like is the reason why you continuously celebrate that.
But for the like the villagers, like you say, you want to like find the origin, and that's why you continue to do the origin. But I feel like just for like this story or the villagers, they don't even know the origin or why it was going on, but they still continue to do it. So I'm saying they like tradition can keep going even if you don't know the origin, because that's the way of life.
Piggybacking off of what Yvonne said, his question, my question is, why do you think that Mrs. Summers was the one to host the lottery all those years, and why hasn't anyone tried to take his position? Considering the fact that you can alter names, or you can change the name that's in the box, or you can change it.
I honestly feel like it's something shady going on. Like it's too coincidental that
It's very ironic that
Yeah.
Mrs. Summers has been hosting it the whole time, and he hasn't got picked.
exactly.
But really, I feel like none of them speak against him because they feel inferior to him, because he's the only man that owns any kind of very lucrative business around there. So it's kind of like he's the figurehead or the president, more say, of the village. So you can't overstep your boundary and overthrow your president, especially if not everybody agrees with you. Like, why would I do that and risk my life if nobody's going to risk their life in return? Because apparently loyalty doesn't really lie very deep with these people.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's because they don't have the power.
I agree with the hiring, because like when we was writing like the summaries
about the people in my organization, I looked at Mr. Summers was the leader because when I read throughout the story, I really thought like he was the leader, like the president over everything. He was the one who took in everything and did everything and did all the duties for them. So that's how I thought.
And I want to bring my question back to like tradition. Like, how did both of the stories like impact your like, perception on tradition?
Blind allegiance. Like we follow things and we do things without even like questioning or asking like, where did this come from? How did we start doing this?
And even if we do question this, it's like we question it in our hands, but like we don't do the extra mile to try to change the problem or anything. Like how you said, Mr. Somerset, oh, like the authority and the power or whatever. The people in the village, they probably had a problem with him always choosing and he never gets chosen or whatever, but they never asked him why is he the only person doing it or never took in their own.
But even then, like it says in the story that he was around his jovial man and he ran a co-business and people were sorry for him. Like, cause he didn't have a wife or any children. So I'm like, maybe it was just out of like, you know, we feel really bad for you, so we want you to do the honors of picking who dies.
Pretty much.
Like, honestly, I think that was probably the like, the mentality that they probably went through, like, as in, like, picking a leader, so to say.
As far as like Mr. Summers and old members, I kind of saw them as with the whole gender thing, like the women not really having a power position. I feel like a lot of people in the village will question it because the man is the one that's supposed to make decisions and stuff like that. And seeing as Mr. Owen Warner is a man, he's older in society. I feel like they'll follow him, they'll follow his lead, and what he believes. Even when the guy got questioned, like, oh, why are you doing this to your village? They don't do it. Owen Warner shut him down. He's like, no, this is the way things been. I've been